on Gouger Street today at Moving Cities, celebrating sustainable transport with Fred Hansen, thinker in residence. So here we are on the Tindo bus, the only one of its kind. First of all, have you actually seen a bus like this before?
I have not seen a solar-powered bus before. There are fuel cell buses and others. This is the first solar-powered. It's exciting.
It's quite interesting.
It is, isn't it?
It is. I can't wait for more to be around. So Fred, tell me about the Thinkers in Residence program.
Well, I'm here in Adelaide as a part of the Thinkers in Residence program. I think it's really an exciting opportunity. Obviously, the Premier, Mike Rand, created it. And if you think about what the private sector does, good companies at least, they invest in research and development. Whether it's in good times or in bad times, they make a lot of investment because they know their future is dependent upon it.
How does Adelaide compare with the rest of the world in the public transport system?
It really is more at the beginning stages. I mean, there is a very obviously existing bus system that's good. The Autobahn is there, and the tram is starting to be expanded. But there's still quite a ways to go. We in Portland are generally considered in the United States as kind of the leading force in that, but we still have a lot to do as well. You go to a place like Copenhagen, where I was in December for the Conference of the Parties, the climate change conference back in December, and you really realize what a community can do. There they have over 30% of their people on bicycles,
oh, wow.
Another 30% plus walking, some in cars, but a lot of public transport, and they're even seeing those numbers going to get better toward more sustainable transport.
Fred, where do you see Adelaide's transport in the future?
Well, I think first you have to look at where it is right now. It is very hard to be able to get around if you're really not have a car, and certainly that's the case if you're in the more outlying suburbs. And what's the challenge is, how do you make that system work and work better for people? The extension of the tram, first onto North Terrace and then up to the entertainment center, is really just the beginning of what I think can be a very exciting opportunity. I think, very frankly, the next tram extension should really ring the downtown core area and become really an urban circulator. But overall, what we want to do is we want to be able to have people have choices. It's not about being anti-car, it's how do we give people choices, so when they have to go do something, they don't always have to hop in that car. They can also hop on public transport, ride their bike, or walk. And that vibrant urban community where there's lots of activity going on is really what I think is the future. Right now, I believe Adelaide is on the cusp of making that change. Still a lot to do, but it's really there. And I think what you will find is that people in Adelaide will just love those changes as time goes on.
So Mike, what I want to ask, what is the future of sustainable transport in Adelaide?
Well, I was inspired by going to Portland, Oregon and meeting Fred Hansen. So he's really the person who convinced me that we should really reinvest in public transport. And part of that has been, of course, a $1.4 billion electrification of our train system, but also, and particularly, I went and saw the streetcars in Portland, Oregon, and also their tram network. And everywhere the tram went, there was economic development. So it was great for commuters, but it was also great to see a city that was really responding, that we're everywhere within a couple of blocks of the tram. We saw amazing urban development, including in areas that had previously been degraded, that then got turned into these funky arts districts. So as a result of really talking to Fred, we've invested in trams. We've brought the tram through the city down to Highmarsh. We want to take it down to Port Adelaide and Semaphore. And also what Fred's talking with me about now is actually bringing a city loop through a streetcar loop, hopefully coming down this street here in Gouger Street. So I guess Fred has played a major role in educating me, and that's one of the great things about the Thinkers in Residence. It was an idea I came up with 10 years ago. People thought I'd gone mad, and we've had 19 Thinkers in Residence. They come to cabinet meetings, they have direct access with me and with the heads of the public service, and the great thing is the Thinkers might come here for 3 or 4 months, but they end up building a relationship with us forever, and we benefit as a result, and it's a tremendous network. Adelaide used to have trams. They were pulled up in the 1950s because basically the car became God. But people are saying they want something better than that. They want a city that they can go to rather than to leave. And people want a city that they can engage with, that they can walk in, that they can cycle in, that they can have decent public transport. And I think we had very poor public transport in Adelaide. And by investing in public transport, it's all part of making a more vibrant city, a festival city, a university city, a city where people want to flock to rather than to flock out to the suburbs because it's a barren place only for cars. So we're doing a range of things of trying to revitalise the city. The riverbank area the city turned its back on its river. We're now trying to turn the city around again. So what Fred Hansen and Laura Lee in particular are about is integrating all this, bringing it all together. It's part of revitalisation, it's part of livability, it's part of our commitment to sustainable future, to be a leader in terms of renewable energy, in terms of tackling climate change.
Where are you hoping that sustainable living will end up taking our future?
Well, I think it's more than just being able to make sure that the transport we use is less polluting, or maybe with electric, zero polluting. It's also about making a place be where you don't have to get into the car. You can walk to the coffee shop, the cafe, the dry cleaners, you name it. You can also do it by bike or by public transport, but it doesn't require hopping in that automobile. And that's what really walkable, livable urban neighborhoods are all about. And frankly, what's happening is people are liking it because they have more time. They don't have to be out there in the car, stuck in traffic or anything else. They don't always have to be able to use that auto for everything. It's also healthier because people who use public transport, who walk and bike, way less. Their costs and healthcare are a lot less, and life's just better.
And we feel happier.
Absolutely, absolutely.